Hello and welcome everybody, or welcome back to anyone who's new here. So we definitely do things a little bit differently here. I never quite know what's going to come out. Sometimes I have an idea and I'll write it down, but I'm spirit-led, and so the thing that I am vibing with today is this recollection and a recalled memory from a time long ago in my childhood. And as you can see probably from the title of the video, what we're talking about today is the a little bit more about the GATE program. And so if you ever resonate with being identified as a gifted, talented, or special, or even possibly for some differently abled or neurodivergent, there's all of these different categories. And there's all this energy coming in, and I remember one of my father's favorite stories was when I first was reporting to kindergarten. The first school that I went to was kindergarten, and supposedly because of the way I acted on the first day, he says that, or the first few days, they said that I was potentially marked for special school. And my dad took that to mean as though I had a mental deficiency, was the way he thought of it. And a little sidebar to that, my father has a very mild version of cerebral palsy, which it presents physically, but also there's some neurological associations with that. So it's interesting to me that he would have been charged by that way. And he said he sort of marched down to the school and told them there would be no way that I would be special, and that there was nothing wrong with me. And he demanded that, they get in line with that. But anyway, so the more that I am recalling this time and putting the different puzzle pieces down, little brick by brick, every brick in the veil, the last few days the channeled messages have been building up to this moment. So yeah, I'm remembering other things too. I have one other video that's uploading today that I started to talk about some of the recollected memories. I'm not going to review everything. I'm not going to talk about everything. I just want to see what the guided messages are, because now that I'm putting those pieces together, I'm seeing how that's been what we've been talking about for months now in my readings, and I wasn't quite recalling it, and Spirit kept telling me and us on the channel, slow it down. There's something that you're not seeing. There's something you're not putting together. And I'm a connector of the dots. And so anyways, yeah, welcome aboard. Were you a member of any of those special type classes or any of that? Yeah, something I didn't say earlier, it keeps being triggered by seeing different things. And I do remember there were these little bitty, very thin plastic with little bumps and circles all around them, like a little hair bonnet when the ladies will do their hair coloring that they used to wear, or whatnot. And then they'd pull the strands through the little holes. It looked like one of those, like almost like the two side pieces and then the center piece. And then it maybe even, I don't know if it clipped or Velcro or tie, or it was like a bonnet. And yeah, that was somewhat of the wires and the measuring the brain's responsiveness to all the various testings. And something I didn't say earlier, I was starting the story where we were brought into these low light rooms, very dark, and I was put in this room almost 2 to 4 feet from the wall, And they had at one time this projected image, and we had partitions between us, space between us, and we were meant to watch this and report on the various things. But then also in that similar thing, we were also similar to your eye appointments, how there's this little viewer box, and you put your eyes onto the little goggles, and then we were interacting with images that way on the viewer box as well. So yeah, so we're delving into some territory that can be very, very troubling for some. So if this isn't something you're quite ready for, you may want to save this for later. But let's get some information from Spirit. I'm interested to see what we're going to be talking about, because what is the connection that we need to know? A few cards coming out. First one is 14, Earth, Nurture, Nature. I'll give you a moment to take that in. And the third eye chakra, pineal perspective. And oh my gosh, look at how there's that pyramid, the levitating pyramid here. And my daughter watches this show. I've watched it with her a bunch of times, but not the whole way through like she has. She's watched it a few times through. And it's interesting to me how many spiritual, Masonic, and different principles and things they put in there. But it's very humorous. And there's all these conspiracies. And the main bad guy ends up being this floating animated pyramid with eyes, and he's like the I can't remember what his name is, but anyways, he's the very, very bad guy. Anyways, the name of that show is Gravity Falls. Some of you may be interested in watching that. Third eye chakra, though, with the earth, nurture, nature. I feel like this is talking about the interconnectivity between our realm of the material, measurable here, and the beyond the mind capacity. And under the deck, we have ground and center with the root chakra and this moth energy. And I think that it's talking about grounding and channeling things from other realms here and now. Part of that building the map of consciousness. So I'm seeing gracious receptivity, and that one does have 2 hummingbirds on it. Interestingly enough, I was going to ask previous to this message that if we see a live hummingbird here on camera at the plants behind me, that will be our message from Spirit, and possibly whatever we're talking about at that moment would be extra intentional. So here we go. 25, emergence. The ability to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. Unfoldment has been a key word over the last few days, and so there's new truths emerging from this pineal perspective. And there's something within our nature, buried within our nature, that is emerging, some new awareness, possibly from this childlike innocence time space, because those of us here already are aware that time is nonlinear, that space is irrelevant. Let's keep going. Throat chakra, internal explorer, journey to wholeness, and freedom are showing under the deck. So it does, it gives me a lot of astral energy at this point, and understanding how there's no coincidences between our gifts and potentialities that we've had perhaps below the surface, and they're just coming online one by one. It's like reawakening. We were maybe somehow lulled to sleep. There was some kind of mass hypnosis, and it's like wearing off. All right, let's see what's on the table here. Balanced forces 19. I feel like this is talking about the binaural beats, the bihemisphere, what was it? Hemi something is part of the training that goes into that program. And it's kind of talking about balancing and synchronizing the various parts and portions of the brain and grounding the third eye perspective. So there's something about anchoring a vibrational awareness and nurturing that part. But what's the connection? Let's go ahead and get some more cards out, and I'll try to limit my talking and interpretation and see what spirit leads us. Divine Masculine 22. Yeah, balancing the forces here is giving perception too, as I say that. Between the masculine feminine with the balanced forces and the different hemispheres of the brain, they talk about how one is more logical, one hemisphere, and the other is more creative. And I feel like many of the individuals that were targeted for these experiments and testings were the creative types, the ones that were divergent from groupthink mentality, the leaders, the trendsetters, the critical thinkers and critical evaluators. It's like, how many times does it take to tell one person a statement before they believe it's true, versus does it work for you if people keep telling you something but you know it to be untrue? Is your brain compliant and submissive to lies in that way? And most of us here are the truth talkers. We were just talking about that with that strong bullshit meter. So what's sitting on the table in front of me face up is 33 Miracle with the crown chakra. So this is like a crowning event, that nobility. It's a breakthrough mental belief in structuring, an emerging belief and awareness of our capacity to create in this way. I mean, literally think about it. If you're part of this collective, you're 12, 13 minutes into this video, you must be resonating with it a little bit, or at least curious in some ways. Do you remember the kids being taken out of the classroom? It's like, if we're that powerful, then why would we doubt ourselves, right? And why would we give that power away to others? And I often think that kids programming tells the perfect story to awaken us to these things. And the deeper I got into one of the what was it? I can't remember the name of the channel. I'm just getting into her stuff, but I shared it on the community page about the GATE program. Her first video came out 5 months ago, and initially I saw it. I kept seeing it on my feed, and I saved it, but I wasn't ready to see it. Anyways, yeah, the more stuff that she starts talking about, I'm thinking particularly right now about Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, and how the big moral of the story is like the other dimensional beings are harvesting our fear frequency energy. But ultimately, what we're led to understand is that the most powerful force of all is actually love and gratitude and ecstasy and bliss. And so if we can elevate our consciousness, we're even greater capacitors than we are if we're just led to believe in fear frequency. And so the elevation of consciousness is almost in that way not only divine, but in the best interests also of the so-called nefarious ones, the parasitic individuals in any realm, beings in any realms that would harvest our energy. It's in their best interest to keep us happy, actually. And so maybe that's why all the numbing and coping behavior, because it leads to feelings of bliss, anyways. And the so-called deadly sins as well. Indulgence and temptation, and dare I say perversions. I hope that's not a key word here. But there are various things in this world that create energetic looping and energetic siphoning and displacement. They're displacement spells, I'm hearing. So anyways, our perception of the various spells and the mass hypnosis that goes into marketing, into the ads we see, into the fake accounts that are coming on and trying to follow us like little bots on every social media platform. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like if we were just some little beings, why would they be so interested in infiltrating our algorithm? Riddle me that. So we're a little too smart for that, and even though it was difficult for the inner child to wake up to all that, there's a time and a place for everything. Turn, turn, turn. We have a couple coming out here. We've got doubling down on the crown chakra with She of the Lotus with this fully activated crown here. Oh, that's beautiful together. And also the full spectrum card. Look at those three together. I mean, I feel like it's talking about various intentions are almost, oh, and yeah, there's a chakra on her head too. It's like the expansion, the evolution that we're going through right now is powering us up. And it's also telling us about some of the various mind control, like some of the information that was shared was also about how many times do you have to say something to somebody before they believe it's true. And so like the best way to win at love or war is to believe it's already a fact. The best way to manifest is to move yourself into vibrational alignment and resonance with the outcome that you want to embody, and it is online and it's in its process of becoming. And so the easiest way for us to remain docile and easily maneuverable like the sheep in their flock, unknowing, is to keep us distracted and content. And yeah, I want to jump into one of the mixed deck that I have between the Tao Te Ching and the Art of War deck, because that's stepping forward as some of the pre-programming from old times about how energy works and how to best maneuver and how our enemy and ourselves need to remain wise and discerning. Number 5, the Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty, yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. Yeah, so when somebody bellows, that's when they're like bellows and boasts and projection and talking and going on and on. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. And it's ultimately, is it not just a windbag, a bellows? Maybe that's why they started that word. Is there something about the codes of words that we choose to use and how the word has two meanings, or tracing a word's origin story back? Like even I'm seeing the origins of your particular name, like mine in some weird derivative, actually in the way it's pronounced versus the way it's spelled. It is actually some type of derivative of holding knowledge and the messenger of God, which is mind-blowing. I still have it saved on my favorites. Maybe I'll clip it and put it on my page and see if anybody else has a cool one that they want to share. But yeah, the bellows, it's capable of getting that air into the fire. It's the perspectives and beliefs and the recipe that goes into harnessing and developing the creative fire, the soul fire here in the embodiment process. So it's interesting. And all things are able to serve us. So moving beyond the resistance phase of numbing behavior. 33 is under the deck. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, then you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. I think that's beautiful because it's talking about various manipulative, suggestive psychology and so on. Like we used to even be trained at one of my early jobs. I was working at a theater in the concessions area, and we were taught 2 sales strategies, and it later helped me too when I was in some type of banking, because we were made to sell to people, and we were taught the techniques of suggestive sales and upselling. So suggesting something like, are you thirsty? Would you like to have one of our refreshing sodas? Or how about, would you like something to snack on? We have our top row here for just over $1.50. And am I making you hungry yet? Or the upselling is, oh, the small is $1.50, but for $3 you can get our large and you get free refills. There you go. So how programmed are we to witness those things and to respond to those things? And I've been watching this other gentleman. He does a lot of AI stuff. I believe he's a retired CIA intelligence person who trained people in letting people reveal themselves and things. Again, I'll share something of his too if I can see that. But there's ways that we're talking in these codes that are becoming strategies for ourselves to operate more unto ourselves and not to be observed and witnessed by too many of the wrong types. Sun Tzu says, to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Exactly, that's what it is. The best way to win is to lead people to believe that there is only one option, the double option closed. You choose the red pill or the blue pill. How about I go my own way and stop engaging? The other side says only engage in conflict when all other alternatives have been exhausted. Fighting's one way to achieve something, but it's never the best way. In all relationships, in all situations, there's alternatives to conflict in which there are no real winners. Sun Tzu proposes the use of deterrence strategies, alliances, negotiations, and even making friends with our enemies and frenemies. These are examples of supreme excellence in negotiation through life. And now something else is making sense in the background. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining in battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. And so there's some type of programming that we're becoming aware of and hopefully transcending. And part of this remembrance hopefully will help us to stand in our own authentic, true pillar of light, authentic self, instead of being triggered into some type of response pattern that is not us. I'm also getting like some of the movies, like the Captain America and the Bucky gets made into this ultimate soldier, and it's all because of mind control with trigger words. And part of our unlocking here, many of us are actually code talkers in the way that we're awakening people And so the words that we choose that we don't even know that we're choosing are trigger words for others. And also the extended vocabulary in the gate programs, I think that many times words that I use, there's an exact word that I need to put my finger on because it's a code. It's an exact one, but it's obscured from my memory, like it exists in more obscure places, only accessed once in a while the other ones, the mediocre words, step forward easily and often. But practice makes perfect. So there's some type of new language shift coming online for many of us. I'm getting a throb and a bubble coming up in my throat from the left side here. Something trying to come forward, something suppressed. We're getting feline coming out of the new deck here, as well as prayers. Intuitive. Surfacing, yeah, that goes well with the emergence, and it comes out with the storms. There's something that's challenging us. I still want to get a few more cards because I don't want to go into another extension. I need to get some things done today. I could do this all day, though. I tell you what, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please consider supporting the channel. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and join the membership portal that we'll be featuring very soon. We'll also be having some live programs soon. We're getting rejuvenation and integrity. So we talked a lot about that recently. There's these dignity codes, gratitude, abundance, and the rebirth of holding yourself accountable and holding others accountable, and how there's this subconscious urge and desire for us to be shameless and fearless and cast off self-judgment. But there's something about falling prey to the easy way that is eclipsed our own authentic uprising. Hey, look at this, worthy. Yeah, it's a sense of self-worth and confidence. And your commitment to building the light, your commitment to belief in yourself when others said, oh no, you're crazy, you don't, people that hear voices or see images or colors where there aren't any, those people are nuts, so don't tell others about those things. Or, you just dreamed, or it was a suggestion when there was that synchronicity. It's like, if you know, you know. And yeah, so there's a lot of gaslighting coming forward too. Those that were put in the program, they were specifically being utilized to make contact, either astrally or otherwise, through suggestive states, and to be channels or operatives, and to be observant of nuances, to pay attention to whether somebody was lying or telling the truth. It's like, often, how many of us say that we're human lie detectors? We were trained as children to be operatives, for God's sakes. It's bringing forward now the Marvel rendition of the Black Widow backstory, and the weird testing and all that stuff. And even on that one lady's podcast today, she was talking about the tunnel systems being utilized for this. And how many of you have realized how many suddenly there are so many missing people, particularly vulnerable populations, people of minority, people of color, children and elderly, but specifically children of people of color are coming up missing. And this is not an American problem. This is a global, and I think it's beyond this world. I mean, think of Men in Black. I mean, we've been prepared for this. We've been prepared for disclosure, and look, we just had disclosure. And I think it's because the culmination point is approaching faster than what we anticipated. And it's like, oh, damn, well, I guess little Johnny and little Susie need to be told that there is no Santa Claus. Confidence. I knew confidence was coming out when I said it with worthy. And interesting. Oh, yes. Look at that. Look at that. So it's never any mistake how the deck separates itself out. So take a peek at these underneath the deck. Fearless, return to your spirit, unifying with the forces beyond your time and space, this Christed consciousness. And this sexuality card here is very much about the reclamation, this balanced force of masculine, feminine, instead of the objectified, negative spinning root, grounded and centered in love, light, and peace and unity consciousness, breaks through this barrier of the objectification and it's like the false horniness of the individuals that are surrounding us. It's so socialized and empty, right? Like the bellows. And so birthing this with the power of our voice, and then fairy magic, and oh, I see, it slipped. There's more, but wait, there's more than what meets the eyes. I was seeing all of these down here. So using our voice to birth this new reality beyond the fairy magic of the forgetful landscape. They wanted us to forget, but the memories are surfacing with the assistance of the powerful geoelectric storm. Geo being that earth with the third eye pineal perspective. We're perceiving, we're reading the cosmos like we always could do from an early age here. And the storm is here. And it's this powerful musical harmonic soul activation. And those of us that were never compliant to the hypnosis, yeah, we're here to bring this new way of being forward in this time and space. So we're at the end of the video. I want to just real quick see what comes out here. I was also seeing there was something about when they're training you to do the remote viewing about the various landscapes, and they first suggest a landscape and then ask you to describe like the mountains, the plains, the meadows. Oh, the birds are swirling really close here on the wind, observing what's going on below. And then it develops from those landscapes into different levels. There's so much fascinating stuff because, yeah, I did have so many out-of-body experiences and dreams as a child where I'd be right outside my window, floating around, right outside of the reach of other individuals. Heartful communications, initiate of activations. Yes, the creative types, you create a lot of art right from your heart space. Oh, and it comes out with the heart and with the labyrinth. Oh my gosh. 7 of portals. So the labyrinth of the heart portals. There's something locked deeply inside the 0 point energy within your heart. Look at this co-creatrix beingness and how large and otherworldly this cosmic mother creatrix is. And look at all the beings of light holding hands around the earth. There's absolutely this healing. And oh my God, look at under the deck we have the African plains being one of the places that's speaking. 6 of earth guardians. I'm seeing the suspended ones. Also the reclaim your power and attune and recalibrate.